Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everybody. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And today we're going to be talking about visibility. And I know we've had some shows that we've talked about that before, so you know it's a subject that's near and dear to my heart. And what I have discovered about visibility is that if people don't know you, if they don't know you exist, if they don't know what you bring to the world that is uniquely yours, if they can't see you, if they can't hear you, you can't help them. So visibility is really about being really easy to find by those who need you most. It's about sharing and shining out the gift of who you are just a little bit more so people have the opportunity to be enriched and empowered by the gift of who you are to the world. So as we come together, I want us to just pause and breathe, become really centered, breathing all the way in, all the way down to your toes, and then out like through a straw. As we become present, I want you to think about, what does visibility mean to you? How are you able to be a little bit more visible? What does that kind of bring up? Is that exciting? Do you feel like, ooh, and you shrink back a little bit? Kind of, where are you in that? I know I used to shrink back. I didn't want to be seen. I actually sought to be invisible. And when I realized that what I could share, my story, my journey, or those things that were called upon me to bring forward, could help somebody, could make a difference, it gave me the courage to be more visible. I was willing to be stretched and uncomfortable and vulnerable and seen on a higher level if it could make a difference for another. So I invite you, as we lean into our conversation today, talking about visibility, inspired by the #1 international best-selling book, Visibility Today. What is coming to your heart and to your spirit about visibility? What are you leaning into or away from? What can help you lean in and share, be more in alignment with who you truly are, what you truly feel called to bring to the world? Keep breathing as we become centered and just ponder these things as we come together. I think we all have our own journey with visibility and what it means and what's important about it or not to us. So as we lean in, there's a reason that you tuned in today. There's something in this conversation, this exploration around visibility that is for you. And being present, being open, gives you the opportunity to receive everything that's here for you. So keep that deep breathing going. It helps you release any stress, tightness. It brings oxygen to your whole body, breathing in what serves, out what no longer does. And in fact, if you close your eyes, it helps you listen even more. Closing your eyes, you're absolutely safe. Put both hands on your heart. And what is your heart sharing with you? What is your heart wanting you to explore or discover or reminding you of? What will empower you and encourage you on your journey with visibility? And in that, what do you need today that will encourage you, support you, empower you? What do you need real time? Just receive that information. Take another deep breath. Eyes open, becoming fully present in the room, and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. And perhaps a special message about visibility for you today. Beautiful. With that, we're going to go around our virtual room and invite our amazing guest, Deborah. She has been on many times. She's one of our frequent flyers, and we always love having Deborah join us and share. And Deborah, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart when you stopped, paused, and listened.
My heart is open today and excited to share with you all my wisdom and experience, and hopefully to inspire you with some tips on how you can become seen, heard, and more visible in your own life. Find your voice, find your purpose, and shine and fall into balance.
Beautiful. I love it. I love that your heart is open and excited. What an amazing way to come together and lean into the conversation. I love it. I know mine, I just feel this amazing warmth and connection and almost a sacredness of this conversation, because I think there are so many myths around visibility. And to be able to have an opportunity to come together and open that up a bit for people to discover their path and their journey. And I know your tips and insights will be invaluable as they lean into this conversation. So thank you, Deborah. I appreciate your share. And listeners, as we get ready to go to our first commercial break, I invite you to stay present during these 2 minutes. Resist that urge to go around and cross things off the list. Choose to stay present and really receive what is being laid on your heart and your spirit, because it's timely and it's important, those messages of our heart. We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to just be. I think sometimes we forget to do that, or sometimes I forget. I get so caught up in the doing and checking the next thing off the list and all the different things that can pull at me during the day. And when I remember that the day doesn't get to be in charge, I do. I get to choose my next step, and I also get to choose to pause and be. I find my day is so much richer, and I'm able to be more present, focused, and move things forward even more efficiently because I remember to stop, pause, and be. And that's something that this show always encourages and empowers me to do this time, this rhythm that we have together, listeners. It always reinforces that pausing and being present with each other. So I'm grateful to have each of you tuning in as we talk about this important subject, and that we have these moments throughout the show that you can just pause, be, and really drink in everything that is supportive of you. It is my privilege and honor to introduce Deborah. For those of you who don't know her, I'm excited for you to meet her. Deborah Wiener is an international award-winning speaker, an entrepreneur, magazine columnist, international best-selling author, and has been featured on numerous radio shows, podcasts, and TV shows. She's also a distinguished Toastmaster and is the creator of the energetic Feng Shui system. She illuminates opportunities and transforms challenges to opportunities. She's open-hearted, as you shared, and excited and absolutely passionate about you stepping into your empowerment, abundance, and success. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and energetic Deborah Wiener. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My chapter in this beautiful book, Visibility Today, my chapter is called Business Magic with the Energetic Feng Shui System. And it explores how raising and transforming your energy in your personal and business spaces can lead to profound success and fulfillment. And I wanted to share just shortly, very quickly, that my journey has been a healing journey from where I came from to how in the world did I get to where I am today. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I speak about all things energy. Back to you, Rebecca.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. You know, I appreciate you bringing that up because I think people meet us now or see us in a certain way, but they don't always know the whole journey that we've gone on to come to where we are today. And that in that journey, there's such wisdom and overcoming that happens that we're able to bring that forward, pay that forward to support others on their journey. And I wondered if you would mind, because we just shared your bio and some of the amazing, and this is just a tip, just a few pieces of the amazing things that you have and that you've done and achieved. Do you mind sharing a little bit of your journey just to give people a bit of a flavor, a taste of it, and why this work about all things energy, as you said, has become so important to you?
Okay. Yeah, growing up, I was not allowed to express myself. I lost my voice. I lost my visibility. I lost my intuition and my identity. And I didn't know my purpose. I also stayed home with 3 sons for 20 years as a stay-at-home mom. And when they went off to college, I remember thinking to myself, well, I just got fired from my job. Now what am I supposed to do? And who am I? And I started finding myself and my voice again and my purpose.
And have come to today. And now, as a distinguished Toastmaster, you have definitely found your voice in writing, in speaking, in sharing your purpose, and now come alongside so many others to help them become empowered and abundant and successful. So I just celebrate you, the work that you do. And you mentioned, as you started to share in the segment, about the book Visibility Today. This is a book project that I was very honored to lead. I'm also an author in it, and Deborah is an author in it as well. This book became a #1 international best-selling book very quickly, with 24 best-selling categories, hitting #1 in both U.S. and France. So we're very excited how broadly it was received, and that so many people are leaning into visibility and wanting to know how it works and what is visibility today, because so many things have shifted and changed over the last few years in how people show up and the different avenues that are available to us. So I think it can be overwhelming, and I even think sometimes it can be, how do we find a balance in that as well, energetically and personally and professionally. So I'm very excited about this book project. There's such great tips and authors and insights on a wide range of subjects, from balancing invisibility to growing your reach to the energy that you're holding and how all of that can support you. We even have a section with inspirations to, again, bring that balance in and inspire and encourage you on your journey. So very excited about the book. Anyone who's interested, you can find it on Amazon. It's Visibility Today. You can type in Deborah's name, you can type in my name, and it'll pop up, and there's multiple formats that you can get your copy if this is a subject matter that calls to you. I'm curious, how did it call to you? Because I know you have so much on your plate, so many choices out there, and this was something that you were very consistent about. Oh no, I want to be part of this. I need to be part of this. Why was this project something that was important to you?
Well, first of all, Rebecca, I love the title, Visibility, because I have, again, growing up, felt unsafe being visible. And until I became aware of it, I can see myself looking back, really hiding in the back of the room a lot of times, and thinking that everyone else knows more than I do, that I didn't have anything to share. And unconsciously, I didn't feel safe being seen and heard. And so once I became aware of that, I started doing work on myself, and my transformational journey started. And along the way, there was a lot of modalities that I used on myself that worked, and I became certified in. And that's how I formed what I call today the energetic feng shui system, made up of all the modalities that I've used to transform my own personal and business spaces and places that have made me the catalyst for transformation for other people today.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. And I'd love to have your opinion. I've shared mine already quite a bit about why I think visibility is so important and matters. I'd love to know, why do you think it's important? Why is it important that we are more visible?
Well, for those of us who, are authors, have businesses, or who are just ready to become your authentic self, it's important that people see you. Because I like to ask the audience, have you ever been in a room, in a meeting, in a space where you felt invisible among all the other people? And actually, no one saw you. If you do happen to have a business, it's very important that people know who you are so they can find you, so you can have clients. That's one reason to become visible. And it's also important for you to live a fulfilled and happy life, to be able to become visible, to be your authentic self and not try to fit into other people's worlds by, let's just say, being somebody you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So becoming visible is vital to living a happy life.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I was just picturing that room where you're not being seen, and I have been in that spot too. And sometimes I had something to share that was kind of bubbling up, but I shrunk back instead of leaning in and sharing. And later, when I shared it with somebody, it had been shared. Oh, I wish you had shared that. That would have made a difference in the meeting. I think people miss out when we shrink back or second guess instead of leaning in and sharing what is on our heart or our perspective or our wisdom. The world is richer for it. So I just think it's so important that we are seeing that we are showing up and we're choosing how we show up, what we echo out. And you're absolutely right. Deborah, if we have a business, it's vital that they know and that the clients, those that you could help, are able to find you and know about you. And visibility is a big part of that. So great insight and share. And as we go back to your chapter that you created and shared in this book, is there a tip that comes to your heart and mind from your chapter that would help people with their visibility today?
Yes, I have a couple, but number one, I think, is understanding yourself. I think that's the very first step.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple tools in my system that especially have helped me, and one of them is human design, learning what my design was and how I function and communicate. And there's others in there too, but that's just one I'm mentioning. That really helped me to understand myself and why I'm here. So it also helped me to kind of forgive myself, not to be so hard on myself for, not doing this or being like this person or, and I also learned comparing is not a good thing. So understanding yourself and let's just say loving and forgiving yourself and is very important. Being aware of your energy, and that's something that people may say, well, what does that mean? And we can talk more about that. But having an attitude of curiosity and gratitude.
I love that, and appreciating who you are and how you are, because I think sometimes if we don't know who we are, how we're wired or made, we can miss some of the amazing wonder of who we are and what we uniquely bring to the world. I'm curious, as you went on your journey and you started to get to know yourself and how you're wired and made, what was something wonderful or special that you're like, wow, I didn't know that, and I'm so glad to know that about myself?
One thing I learned about myself is that I am not here to be a doer. I am here to be an advisor, a guide, you could say a coach, counselor, and use my wisdom to share with people and kind of be a beacon of light and be a leader, because I was a follower. I was, as a child, I was not given the opportunity to lead. So I was a follower, and I'm meant to be a leader. That now has made it easier for me to be visible and to get out there and go, okay, I do have things to share that are important. I have a lot of life experiences and wisdom that can help other people.
I love it. And that empowers you to really step into those leadership opportunities and lift up and support others. So thank you for sharing that. I mean, what a wonderful gift to have and to discover. Beautiful. Well, listeners, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, I want you to think about, have you gotten to know yourself? What are some things that people reflect back to you consistently about you, holding up that mirror that maybe you have a tendency to brush off instead of drink in and really take in about some of the amazing gifts and wiring that you have. I know when I would get a compliment, I would sometimes take it as, oh, they're just being nice, and I would brush it off, and I would brush it off, and I would consistently brush it off, instead of really honoring what they're sharing with me and drinking it in and receiving that gift and that connection. So I encourage you, as we go to our next commercial break here, to choose to be present and really see what is speaking to your heart, what is bubbling up. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that you just have some wonderful insights or ahas or even a shift in perspective around visibility. And I want to encourage you, as we continue our conversation, to look back at your notes or what was written on your heart at the beginning of our conversation around this, about what do you need, what will be supportive and encouraging to you. Maybe a shift in perspective around visibility. And I want to invite you, as we continue, to really ponder, what can you do to increase your visibility? Because no one else is in charge. There's not a fairy with a magic wand that suddenly hits, taps you on the head and you're visible. You are in charge. And if you feel like the best kept secret, if you feel like if people only knew what I could do or how much I care or what I can bring to the world would be different. You're the one that has that power. You're the one that can lean in and choose to be seen on a higher level. And I want to invite you to look proactively. What are some things you can do? And I was reflecting a little bit on your journey, Deborah, because you and I've been on this journey for a while together and danced together in many different ways. And some of the things I know you did deliberately in your journey, choices that you made. You joined Toastmasters and you stepped into leadership roles. You are a magazine columnist. You have said yes to being on different shows and podcasts and showing up, to being speakers on stages, to being parts of summits. Those are all choices that you made, you leaned into, you invested your time, energy, resources, and gifting in. And that helped increase your visibility. And I want to see, can you give us some guidance and direction on how you made those decisions and what you looked for maybe that next, because there's so many opportunities that come our way, what you looked for to really help you increase your visibility, and, why Toastmasters, why a magazine columnist, those kinds of things. I think that would really help our listeners as they're looking at what some of their steps could be.
Okay. Well, the reason I joined Toastmasters was to overcome my fear of speaking in front of people. I think that may be one of the, if not the number one fear among most people, is public speaking. Mm-hmm. And when I first joined Toastmasters, I used to hide and take all the roles that did not require speaking. There's a lot of roles in Toastmasters, such as timing in a meeting or evaluating a speaker, different roles that are in the background. And then as many years went on, opportunities arose. And I have always been committed to transformation, to changing and growing, and seeing who I can become, reaching my highest potential. And so as I continued on my growing journey, I met you, Rebecca, and I was given opportunities to express myself in writing. I've written a couple of chapters or anthologies, and I really found that I really enjoyed writing. And as time went on, I found, I think I'm pretty good at this. I really like it. And it's kind of like you're speaking, but no one can interrupt you.
Nice. Yep.
And then as opportunities came up in the world of Toastmasters, leadership roles, I finally said yes. And I learned to just say yes, thinking, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out along the way. And I have found that that's a really good mindset to have in all areas of life. Because I'm currently a member of my county civil grand jury, and that's a leadership role. And I said yes. I learned to say yes, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. So becoming a leader requires just one word: yes.
Thank you for sharing. And I love that you took some of those steps and then found, I like this, or I want more of that. And you're willing to try different things and to say yes, not know all the how, not know how it's all going to work, but saying yes. And then, trusting you figure it out, and you do. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I just thought it was very, some of these choices you made were very deliberate, and it would be so nice for our authors to kind of be our listeners, I should say, maybe potential authors are on the inside track, kind of hearing some of what that journey has been like, that you didn't just wake up and I am an author and a speaker. It's been a journey and choices that you've made and discovered, and leadership and stepping into it. So as we reflect on visibility today, what we have been talking about and weaving our thoughts and insights in, what is something you feel like we can do to be more visible?
I think part of being able to be more visible, feeling comfortable being more visible, is to feel confidence. And confidence is something that I know that I was always asking my guide for, please give me confidence. But what I've learned is that confidence is something we're all born with, just like intuition and our identity. but we lose it along the way based on our environment, life experiences. And so it's a skill that we can develop. We can develop confidence. We can develop our intuition. And the more that we are confident, we'll feel safe being visible. Mm-hmm. And the more that we are listen to our intuition, we know that we have all the answers inside of us, and we won't be searching like I did outside of myself, thinking everyone else had the answers.
And I love that, having that confidence and then trusting ourselves in that. And just even what you were saying about leadership, how saying yes and trusting you'll figure it out. And it's not relying on others, but that you know and can be confident in how you're made. And I can see how human design would be so supportive of that, understanding how we are and how we're made, and working with that, using that, leveraging that, embracing it can be so powerful. And thank you for bringing up that confidence. I think that is an important part of it. And I know energy, you are such a big advocate of exploring energy, shifting energy, being aware of energy, and how that can support all that we do. And I'd love for you to share, why is energy important in speaking, business, in visibility, and life? Why is this something that affects all these different things and is something that we really want to pay attention to and be aware of?
Well, my first steps into learning about energy was becoming more aware and conscious about how I felt in spaces, how I felt in my body. And so I started, I became a feng shui master, and a lot of people think of feng shui as just moving furniture around, but really feng shui is all about energy. Now, yes, you will move furniture around sometimes, which will make you feel better in a space, but it's all about how you feel, which is energy. And so as I was moving my furniture around and feeling better in my spaces, in my office, in my home, and on the land I owned, and the more I became aware of how I felt around other people in relationships, especially, I started to notice that certain times my stomach would be very upset around certain people and nervous and full of anxiety. And other times I would feel, I just feel right at home. I feel very comfortable, like I've known this person my whole life. So that is energy. And if we can become aware of how we feel, say around people, in our own office or home, in our relationships, then we can decide who we want to have around us, first of all. It's very important to choose wisely who you choose to take up your space. And we can improve our relationships. We can improve our businesses. We can improve our life overall. It's energy is everywhere. It's everything, and you can't see it. But it's basically, how do you feel? Because what you feel attracts more of how you're feeling.
Well, and I love that example about the stomach and the tightness or feeling, oh, wow, I've known this person forever and I just feel really good about them. I know sometimes there are spaces or environments we can go in or someone we hang out with, and our energy can feel so drained and negative when we leave versus when we started the conversation. I think those are all things to pay attention to. And I'm curious if we notice, wow, my energy just really dipped, or I'm really kind of stuck in this negative place or something, like we want to shift where we are energetically. What are some tips or ways we can do that? We can shift our energy into a more balanced, positive place.
Well, a very quick way to do that is if you can just take a few minutes, wherever you are, you could always run into a restroom and close the stall and be by yourself. Take some deep breaths, breathe, breathe, and also move. Move a little bit, breathe, and give yourself some time to think about, say you're in a situation. I recently had met a realtor who said, real estate's not doing well right now. And I thought, well, why would I want to hire this person who thinks real estate isn't doing well right now? Real estate is always doing well, believe me. It's about the energy you're holding. You probably aren't going to be able to sell anything with that attitude. So it's about take a moment, stand up, move around a little bit, take deep breaths. And, if you're in a situation where you have to make a decision, I suggest not making impulsive, reactive decisions. I know, I've been there. It's better to just observe, do not react, and then in a moment, maybe you'll be able to make a much more wise decision if you're in that place.
I love that. And in that example, I think, isn't it interesting the things we say or feel? And that was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy for that person, saying real estate is not doing well. And therefore, echoing that out, people aren't going to want to work with someone that believes that if they're wanting support in the real estate space. So I think that's just an interesting perspective, and that we can stop and pause and take those breaths and move around and really center, so we're not in this reactionary space, but really choosing to breathe and come from a more still and centered place by taking that time out and that pause. I know when I have gotten stretched thin, because sometimes I think we don't realize it. I don't know if that's the case you've ever been in that, Deborah, but I've gotten to a place at times where I'm spread so thin and I'm almost in survival mode and struggling. And I remember there was this moment where many, many years ago, my husband had been in an accident and I was in a caregiving position. And then there was something that happened with the business, and like all these things kind of piled up. And he's recovered and doing great, so no one needs to worry. He's good. But at that time, I didn't know that would be the result. And so it was scary, and I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, and I wasn't doing a great job of taking care of myself. So I was getting spread thinner and thinner. And I remember in the mirror in the morning trying to put makeup on using cover-up. And I remember getting so mad at the cover-up because it wasn't even doing its one job, and its function was to hide the marks under my eyes. But it was, I can laugh now, but I was so frustrated. I kept layering it on, which just made it look worse. And I finally threw the little sponge into the sink and yelled at the cover-up that wasn't even doing its job. And then I looked in my mirror, made eye contact, and went, Rebecca, you need a timeout. And I went and took one and took a breath and was able to give myself just a few minutes, a little bit of time, and that humanness and accepting. And though circumstances around me hadn't necessarily changed, I was able to recognize, oh, I need some space and time if I'm getting mad at my cover-up. Something's going on here. That's not my normal state. And it was like a reality check, and I was able to calm and center and kind of get some support in. So hopefully recognize it before you're in that cover-up moment when you need help or support or timeout. But allowing that and giving it, and it was able to shift very quickly once I stopped and paused and took a little bit of time for me, versus continuing to push and get mad at cover-up makeup not doing its job. So a lesson I learned about energy and kind of taking that time and care. And I don't know anything you would add to that, Deborah.
I think that was a good decision because how you were trying to cover up something instead of just letting it be. Just let the energy, just feel what you're feeling, and it'll pass. But if you covered it up, it would have to work harder to get through that makeup.
Well, and it wasn't even possible anymore. No matter. Covering up was done. But you're right. Isn't that interesting? Letting the energy flow, letting it come out, expressing the emotions versus stuffing down. So yeah, thank you. Beautiful. I love it. And then I just had another question about, you talked about energy, and we talked how it's in everything and really paying attention. You've given us some great tips. And how can energy feng shui help us be seen, heard, and more visible?
Well, feng shui has, let's just say, especially helped my husband, our family business. I know when, actually, there's always ebbs and flows in a business, in the economy, and there's always changes. And so life is all about changes, and we must become flexible and flow with the changes. So if you're using feng shui to make a difference in your life, maybe it's time to, for example, your home office. Is it cluttered? Is it full of dust? Is it got too many things that aren't serving you well? Time to declutter and clean. And then maybe it's time to let some things go that you haven't used for 10 years and that you never will use. You could, take that idea to clothing. It could be clothing. It could be books. It could be things. It could be people. And or it could be ideas that you've had that just really aren't working, and maybe it's time to be more open to let go of things that don't serve you, which means more space will be opened up for things that will serve you to come in. So by redecorating, moving things around, and in feng shui, there's, we have little, let's say, fixes for everything. So in a room, say, if your home or building or room is designed in a way that's hard to, let's just say, feel good in that space, there's little feng shui tips by placing colors, things like candles or flowers or just things of certain colors in a certain corner of the room. That's one way to fix things. That's one way to become more visible. Mm-hmm. The acknowledgement and recognition corner when you first walk into a room is right in front of you. And you have red and gold colors in front of you. That's one of the, those are the colors that can help you be more visible, be seen. And
beautiful.
I experienced, it's hard to explain, but it works. And it's also about believing.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing. I love that there are things that we can do physically around us to help our environment feel better, support us, and even increase our visibility. And I love what you shared about releasing things that are not serving creates room for more that is, and space. And sometimes we feel like we have too much on our plate. We don't have room for anything and for ourselves. But by releasing some of those things that are no longer serving, it creates room and space. I love that you shared that. I thought that was a great insight. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do, listeners, I want you to see what is bubbling up for you. What wisdom, tip, or insight is striking a chord in your heart and in your spirit. And take a moment to really sit in that and listen. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that you have enjoyed this conversation about visibility. And for those of you who are interested in getting the book and going deeper, it's called Visibility Today. You can find it on Amazon in multiple formats, so you can choose your favorite. And I wanted to take a moment and have Deborah just share any upcoming projects, things that we can be watching so we can lean into more of what she's doing in the world. And then, Deborah, if you could also share your contact information so we know the best way to go deeper and follow you.
Okay. Well, I have several things going on during this time in my life. Besides Visibility Today, there's also another anthology coming up in the future with Rebecca about inspirations. Mm-hmm. And then I am writing my own self-help book. It's not titled yet, but it's about, again, how did I get to where I am now from where I came from, and all the tools and modalities that I use to heal myself and that I know can help other people that resonate to some of those, to help themselves overcome, to learn and grow and transform.
Nice.
I also have an upcoming podcast called Energize Your Enterprise.
Love it.
Deborah. And it's about all things energy. And I've got 3 episodes so far ready. And so it's just ready to be launched at any moment.
Oh. Congratulations. I'm excited. I love that title. I love what it's about. Perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you. So I'd love to have the opportunity to have a conversation with each one of you. And so I have a free offer of a 30-minute conversation with you. Nice. To talk with you and to help learn how I could help you energize your enterprise, whatever that may be. So if you take a look at my website, DeborahWiener.com or FengShuiBusinessConsultant.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And we'll definitely be looking for the launch of your new podcast. That sounds exciting. And the upcoming projects that you're working on. So thank you for joining us today. Listeners, I want to thank you for leaning into this conversation. And my extra credit bonus challenge is for you to take a few moments at the end of the show and write down 3 things that you're going to do, actions you're going to take, and they can be small steps, small actions. They all add up, they count, to help you be more visible. Take a moment, write them down, and be in action of crossing one of them off your list today. use your time, choose wisely, and as you go forward in the world, remember you are a gift, and the biggest gift you can give the world is more of you. Be willing to be seen, heard, and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.